Welcome back to Foot in Mouth. It's a show about all things football, and I need a haircut. Today we're going to be talking about tonight's Champions League fixtures, the final round of fixtures for the league phase of the competition. We're going to have a look at some of the transfer news doing the rounds today, but I do have to start with the clear and obvious embarrassment that the PGMOL brought upon themselves after an independent regulatory commission upheld Arsenal's appeal and Myles Lewis-Skelly's red card and his 3-match ban has been rescinded. It's a situation that could have easily been avoided by the PGMOL had they just on their own accord stepped up, apologized, admitted that Michael Oliver got the decision wrong on the day. They could have rescinded the red card themselves. They could have rescinded everything themselves, but instead they doubled down on their support of Michael Oliver. They doubled down on the support of Darren England, who was on VAR that day. And it's taken a fresh pair of eyes, one that doesn't have any type of personal affiliation or association with any of the clowns that are working at the PGMOL. It took them what seems like no time to deem that it was the incorrect decision and everything is okay again. Only it's not. The PGMOL have just proven everybody right. They have just proven how incompetent they actually are. There's been no shortage of bad officiating this season alone, but there has been a severe shortage of transparency, of communication, and, to be fair, repercussion. These referees make season-defining decisions week in, week out, and yet whenever there are errors made, it never seems like it's that big a deal for the PGMOL because we're still seeing the same faces rotating in and out of games. I don't think we've ever seen a time where people were this familiar with referees' names. We shouldn't know the refs' names, it's gotten to the point where it's so bad so often that we now know names, and I think that's a very weird place to be for football. And the backlash that they face is, honestly, in my opinion, it's very justified because of those reasons. It doesn't help with this narrative of weird support coming from like the more mainstream pundits, the guys who could probably light a fire under Howard Webb's arse to get him to make some changes. Those guys, they seem weirdly supportive of the system. This has led to an era of conspiracy theories and agendas, and they're not helping themselves. They're kind of festering this pot all the time with how they conduct themselves and how they deal with these situations that get fans pretty pissed. The fans ourselves, we don't help each other with this stupid football tribalism that goes on as well, which I think is genuinely spoiling the whole social side of football at this moment in time. But yeah, we know that we can't make any real difference to the system, so we have no choice but to rely on the voices of these ex-players that are on the TV screens. And it's annoying that they keep pushing this narrative, and you know full well that it's because they are in cahoots with the PGMOL to some extent, and it's damage control. So the fans are getting done with this. We've been demanding better from these refs for the longest time, and you would hope that pundits like that could be the ones that actually put pressure on Howard Webb to demand better of his own people. I don't understand how he still hasn't. I still can't understand how he genuinely backed this decision that Michael Oliver, he doubled down on it. Meanwhile, everybody else with half a brain could tell that decision was overreactionary. I'm not going to talk about it too much because obviously by this point, you have obviously seen it, I hope. And hopefully not a still image that a lot of people seem to be using in Big 2025 to basically make a judgment call on this. It's a bit ridiculous. But yeah, the decision was overturned, rightfully so. I think a lot of people were just proven right. And the PGMOL end up with egg on their face, bro. It is going to be interesting to see how Arsenal are treated in future games, though. I can't lie. I'm not one for agendas. Actually, no, I do believe that there's an agenda against Arsenal, but that's neither here nor there. I think that whether there is one or not, I think Arsenal are going to be painted with a slightly different brush going forward because, yeah, they can't be too happy with Arteta anymore, especially after his comments that he made last season after the Newcastle loss. And now he's kind of brought shame to their name in a much bigger scale. I don't bank on them being professional enough to keep their shit together. So I think Arsenal games in future are going to be more interesting than usual. But yeah, hopefully at the very least, we don't see Michael Oliver's name on the officials list for any Arsenal game going forward. Same with Darren England for that matter. Now that that's out the way, we can get back to footballing matters at hand, which is Champions League predictions. All the teams are playing tonight at the same time. Like I said, final round of fixtures for the league phase. And pretty much everybody, bar Liverpool, need a win from tonight's games. So I think it's going to be chaos. That table is going to be chopping and changing across the 90 minutes, being played everywhere. And by the end of it, it's going to look nothing like it currently looks. Although you can pretty much bank on Liverpool finishing things off in first place. It's not a comfortable lead for them though. Barcelona are second, 3 points behind Liverpool. They do also have a better goal difference. So if Liverpool do drop points tonight, i.e. lose, which is unlikely, and Barcelona win, then Liverpool may end up finishing second in the league phase of the competition, but it's not really a train smash. But you will bet money that they're going to want to push to finish first. We don't know how the draw for the next round is going to pan out, but as we do know, the higher up the table you finish, the better your chances in the draw for the round of 16. Liverpool are the only club with a 100% record so far, so you'd back them to get a win here. But I think it's going to be a little tricky because this weekend they're playing Bournemouth in the Premier League, so you would expect that Slot's going to want to rotate some of his players. And rotating those players when you're playing away to PSV, who desperately need to get a win from this game, or at least a draw to help their chances of making it for the playoff placings in the next round. They're not going to take it very easy on Liverpool. So I think, look, Liverpool will probably get the win, but I don't think it's going to be easy. Just because of the fact that I think he does have to rotate players. I think a Darwin Núñez masterclass is on the cards. And I also hope that Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones can get some more minutes as well, because I think that their development is progressing along quite well. But I think PSV may have a little bit of a chip on the shoulder as well when you consider Arne Slot's time when he was coaching in their division. So maybe a little bit of incentive there, extra incentive rather, to get a good performance here and possibly a win. I think Liverpool can't look past them. I think they will do some rotation though. So I'm not going to say it's going to be the easiest win, but I'll say Liverpool will win this 2-1. And I think they do kind of have to hope to win this, because like I said, Barcelona are hot on their heels. Barcelona though don't have a very easy fixture on their hands. They are at home, fortunately, but they're playing against Atalanta. Atalanta got in 7th in the Champions League, and they are going to want to hold on to that spot. But like I said, it's getting very tight that side. Any teams that drop points in the top 8 could find themselves out of the top 8. Just like that. So Atalanta are going to definitely come through. They've got 1 goal less than Barcelona's goal difference. So they've got goal scorers, But Barcelona at home, you got Lewandowski there, Rafinha, the form that he's in. Both of them been flying in this competition, leading the scoring charts. I want to say Barcelona could probably take it, but at the same time, I've seen Barcelona look shaky this season, in and out of the Champions League, but mostly in the Champions League. I think they are a little bit there for the taking. And Atalanta are doing quite well in the Serie A, and they're definitely going to want to get this guaranteed qualification through. They are going to need, they're not going to want to have to play a 2-legged playoff fixture when they're currently still trying to close that gap between them and the top of the Serie A. So I think Atalanta are going to come through. They clearly have goals in them. I think there's going to be a lot of goals in this game, but I am going to say Barcelona draw. I'm going to say a draw. I'm going to say it's a 2-2. I think there's going to be lots of goals, but I'm thinking the draw is more likely here. As for the team in third place, you have the Arsenal, and we could finish second if things go our way. If I'm right about my Barcelona prediction, then we could finish second. Maybe that prediction was birthed out of some bias, but yeah, I think we've got a good chance of it. Like I said, Atalanta does prove a very big task for Barcelona. Arsenal, meanwhile, we've got Girona away, so on paper it's quick to kind of give Arsenal the win here, but I don't think that it's going to come that easily either. Much like Liverpool, we are going to need to do some rotating tonight because we got Man City this weekend. Girona are 31st on the log. They've got no chance of qualifying for the playoffs even. So tonight they're just playing for pride and the vibes, really. And I think that's going to work in Arsenal's favor, hopefully. But like I say, the rotation, the amount of rotating that Arteta is going to have to do could have some serious consequences, because look, a lot of these players, because of all the injuries, have been playing way more minutes than they should be at this point. After the Wolves game, Kai Havertz literally fell to the floor. Dude had nothing left in him. So he 1000% needs to get a rest tonight. Absolutely. So on that front, I'll start right there. I think the front three is going to be a trio of Trossard, Martinelli and Sterling. Because look, Girona are an easier opposition, but we're still going to have to play to win. We definitely have to play to win, and some people aren't going to be able to get as rested as I'd like or Arteta would like ahead of the City game, but is what it is. There's a lot of football right now. But yeah, I think Havertz, of all the players in the team right now, he's the one most in need of a rest. And then, yeah, look, Nwaneri actually could start as well. Could probably rest Martinelli. Put Sterling on the left and put Nwaneri on the one side, Trossard down the middle. I think that could work as well. Midfield-wise, Odegaard missed the Wolves game due to illness. He is back and available, but I wouldn't play him for 90 minutes. I'm not going to lie. I'd start him. I hope he can help push the team to an early lead, get the job done in the first half, and then you can come off early. But Odegaard is available, so I'd go with Odegaard. Marino is also available again after he also missed the Wolves game, so that's 2 of the 3. And then for that third place, I would go for Jorginho. I think let Declan Rice take a rest at least for as long as he can, because he's going to be very busy in the game this coming weekend. And between Marino and Odegaard, you can always sub them off if Nwaneri doesn't start. Nwaneri can come on for Odegaard, and then why not Zinchenko? But obviously Declan Rice is going to be the first choice to come on. But I think if people are quick to forget that Zinchenko can play central midfield. He plays there for the national team, so I think Zinchenko is at least an option, albeit one that Arteta is never going to take up. I don't know why. But we've got options there, so Odegaard and Marino can get some minutes in their legs, but not have to play a full 90. Defense-wise, Lewis-Skelly straight back into the team for me. He only played half a game of football this past weekend, so he's going to be fresh. I would start Kivio over Gabriel for this one. Let Gabriel get a rest. He's also going to have his work cut out for him this weekend. Saliba's going to have to start, though, in my opinion. And then at right back, I can't believe I'm saying this, Thomas Partey. I know it's a failed experiment. It has failed more than enough times for everybody to believe that, but I kind of think we can get away with it tonight, and Yuri Ntimba is another player that desperately needs a rest. So I think tonight is the one night where I'm like, chance it, Arteta, play Thomas Partey at right back. If Arsenal lose, there's still a very high chance that we still stay in the top 8, unless one of the teams outside of the top 8 happen to win by a ridiculous scoreline. So there's less, not none, but there's less pressure. So I would start Partey, and I think if things do start going south, we've got the quality to kind of turn things around. But definitely gonna have to rotate players. David Raya stays in goal as well for me. I know we've got Neto on the bench, still waiting to make his debut for the club since he joined. But sorry, buddy, tonight's not the night. I'm not taking a chance there. There's every possibility that Girona just have a proper Hail Mary moment that gets them a goal. I mean, stranger things have happened in football, so I am not taking chance in goal. But I will say that, however Arteta lines the team up tonight, I think we should be good enough to get a win here. Girona are part of the City group, obviously, so I think ownership from their side, even though they can't qualify from this phase, I think ownership are going to want to at least put a little bit of a knock on Arsenal ahead of the Man City game. But I think when you consider how they're doing in their own league, the manager may have other priorities on his hand, and he'll just want to get through this game with no injuries, with as little energy exerted, and some pride intact. But I'm going to back Arsenal for the win. I think Arsenal will win this 3-1. I'll say 3-1. It is an away game for us, but we've got goals in us in the Champions League. So I think that continues tonight. And if Nwaneri starts, that boy is scoring. You heard it here first. I went 3-1 Arsenal. Aston Villa are playing Celtic tonight. Aston Villa currently sitting in 9th, literally just outside of the guaranteed qualification top 8 places. So they are definitely going to make sure no slip-ups happen so they can take advantage of any drop points from the top 8. Like I said, Barcelona versus Atalanta, if there's a winner there, that's a spot that's available for Aston Villa. So they're not going to at all chance dropping the ball here. They're also not going to want to have that two-legged playoff phase to go through. So, I think Celtic is a very, very kind draw for them. The fact that it's at Villa Park only makes it kind of more likely that Villa are going to get the win here. All due respect to Celtic, I do have a lot of respect for the club, genuinely, and looks like Kieran Tierney is going to be on his way back there, so I'll be watching some Scottish football. I think that Aston Villa, 100% of the better team, and the home draw just adds on to that. They've got plenty players that can score. I think this is, I feel bad saying it, but I think it's going to be an easy Villa win. I'm going to say Villa win this 3-0. I'll say 3-0 Villa. And I think it should be done with little to no effort, in all honesty. But Celtic will definitely be playing hard. They do have a chance of making it for the playoff spot. I just think that, Villa are going to be too much. We got to go all the way down that table to find Man City in 25th, outside of the playoff zone. And this is a must-win game for them. And they are playing against Club Brugge. The Club Brugge also, this is a must-win for them because they're currently 20th. They're in that playoff zone. But again, any drop points here and they're going to find themselves out the competition. So it's a lot of pressure on Brugge. I do feel bad for them. I think it's been a valiant effort. But Manchester City at the Etihad, must-win game. Sorry, Brugge. Look, Pep is obviously going to have to rotate players as well. Exact same reasons as Arsenal. They're playing against each other this weekend. But they just got 3 new players in, all of which I think are going to feature tonight. And they've got more than enough depth to overpower Brugge in all departments of the pitch. So I think this is going to be a easy Man City win here. I think Man City are going to win this 4-0. And that's definitely going to be a big morale boost for them going into this weekend's game. But yeah, I hope that there's going to be an upset here. I'd love nothing more than to be sitting here on the next episode talking about a surprise exit from the competition from Manchester City. But it is what it is, City or City, and it's at the Etihad, man. It's so hard to bet on anybody other than City at the Etihad. So yeah, I'm going City, big win here, 4-0. There are still some notable sides that haven't guaranteed themselves qualification yet, namely Real Madrid. Currently sitting at 16th on 12 points. If ever there was a must-win game for a club, it's this one for this club, bro. It'd be absolutely embarrassing if they went out at this stage of the competition. And they're another club that is in danger of, if they drop points tonight, they could be out the competition entirely. So they're definitely going to have to play for a win tonight. And I think they will, obviously, Real Madrid being Real Madrid. But I also think that this could be a little bit of a tricky fixture. They're playing against Brest, who have been performing well above expectations so far this season. And I think they're going to want to keep this fantasy run going for as long as possible. I don't think they give a damn that it's Real Madrid they're playing against. They currently placed higher than Real Madrid on the table, for crying out loud. So they definitely no pushovers by any means. It's at their home, not at the Bernabeu. So they've got a chance, man. Like I said earlier, stranger things have happened in football. And this isn't an upset that I especially want to be speaking about on the next episode. Although, obviously, the more big clubs that drop out, the better the chances for Arsenal. I do have to back Madrid. I can't lie, I do have to back Madrid. They're not going to rest any players for this one. Like I said, it is an absolute must-win for them of all clubs. So I think Brest, regardless of a result here, I think they do still stay in the playoff zone, which would be nice. Otherwise, it was a solid run, bruh. I think they gave definitely Micah Richards a lot of laughs in their time here, but also genuinely impressive performances with some surprise results. I just don't think tonight's going to be one of those. Bayern Munich is another club that haven't guaranteed themselves safety yet, but you pretty much bank that they're going to secure it tonight. They literally one place above Madrid on the table. Same amount of points, just ahead on goal difference. And they have the luxury of playing against one of only two sides that have got 0 points in this league phase of the Champions League. They're currently second last on the table, and they are Slovan Bratislava. That's the way I can pronounce it. Probably easiest game of the night for any of the big clubs. Easiest win of the night. I think it's going to be another big one. Yeah, I'm going to go Bayern win this 5-0 and lock down a playoff place. PSG are 22nd. They're playing against Stuttgart, who are 24th. 24th being the last available spot for a playoff place. So Stuttgart are going to fight tooth and nail to keep that. And PSG, naturally in this competition, have about as much luck as Arsenal have had. So you wouldn't put it past them to bottle it, if you would. And yeah, I think Stuttgart pose a threat. You know, they obviously aren't one of the heavy hitters in the competition. But when you consider the occasion, when you consider the drive behind the players, I think the fact that they are still in the playoff zone, I think it's not ideal for them. I think they expect a little bit better from this league phase. But I think that they can definitely cause an upset here. But I am leaning towards a 2-1 PSG win. Juventus, another club that is just about holding on to a playoff place. And they're playing against Benfica, who also desperately need a win here. I can't split them, in all honesty. I think it's going to be a draw. I think it's going to be quite funny if it is a draw, because both of them could be replaced by clubs like Real Madrid and Manchester City. But yeah, I think this one is going to be a draw 1-1. And then yeah, the league table will look very different at the end of all these fixtures. The draw for the playoff fixtures will happen on the 31st of January, this Sunday. So then we'll know where things stand there. And from there, it'll be pretty quick for people to be able to establish or determine who they are liable to draw in the round of 16. It is important to note that you can draw a club that you've already played against in the league phase, and you can also draw a club from your same nation in the round of 16 with this new format. So with Man City finishing as low as they are going to finish, I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal draw Manchester City in the round of 16, or Real Madrid at this point, bruh. Fingers crossed, hoping for the best, but yeah, we got to get these playoff fixtures out the way. And tonight's set of games. Okay, cool. Let us get on to some transfer news. Manchester United fans finally got the yo we go from Fabrizio Romano for Patrick Dorgu. The fullback signs finally after a very patient game from Lecce. The fee is said to be around 30 million euros with 5 million in add-on. So I think it's a fair price. I think it's a good deal. It's definitely a player that Man United needed for a position that they needed covered. So yeah, I think it's a good deal. And he's not the only defender that is joining Manchester United, because they've snatched another one from us. First, it was Chido Obi-Martin. Now Manchester United announced the signing of Aiden Heaven, who young centre-back from Arsenal, 18 years old, had a lot of promise. And yeah, look, to be honest, I am disappointed that they got him. But I can't lie, also it does make a lot of sense. You know, when you look at Arsenal's current backline and the age profile of those players, there is no telling where or when Aiden Heaven would have slotted into the first team. We've got so many players in that department, and I think he's going to be fast-tracked to the first team in Manchester United. Already seen reports that he was signed for the first team to provide some cover for Lisandro Martinez. But yeah, it's a disappointing move, and I do actually hope that he has a genuinely good career at Man United. You know, he's one of our own, so I want to see him go far, and I hope the move works out for him. But yeah, a little bit of a stinger, can't lie. Arsenal just got to get even. I think they just got to go test the waters for Kobe Mainoo. Seriously, I'm not even joking. Just go and test the waters, make an offer price. But you got like a 60 mil lying around. I kind of feel like the ownership of Man United would bite your hand off. Aston Villa been asking Chelsea about João Felix. Now this is an exciting transfer possibility, in my opinion. I was surprised as ever that Chelsea decided to buy him in the first place. Didn't think they needed him. I was more surprised when you see how he was used at the club by Enzo Maresca. But yeah, Villa are interested, and why wouldn't they be? You know, they've got a good team, but they could do with some attacking reinforcement. I think Emi Buendia is on his way out on loan. Obviously not the same player that they bought all those years ago when they beat Arsenal for his signature, reportedly. But yeah, I think João Felix to Villa makes a lot of sense. I think it's a good move for the player. He's still only 25. I was so shocked when I realized that. In my mind, this dude has been much older. But yeah, it's not been working out for him since that mega move to Atletico Madrid all those years ago. And yeah, Unai Emery is said to be an admirer of the player. Like I said, he is a talented player. I don't see why they wouldn't be interested in the possibility. So yeah, João Felix to Aston Villa, that could be. I think that one has some legs, yo. And another player from Chelsea that Aston Villa are eyeing up is Axel Disasi, which makes sense. They're centre-back down. Axel Disasi makes sense as well, in my opinion. So two Chelsea players that could be on their way to Aston Villa, and I think it is doable. And they're also going to have their wheels in the brains rotating around outgoings, because John Duran is getting a lot of interest. And the club did announce, or kind of hint at, I guess they didn't announce it officially, but the general feel is that they would be open to selling Duran. I think they want to keep Watkins more than they do Duran, which to me doesn't make sense when you consider the goal scoring record of both of them in terms of shots per goals, or goals per shots rather. But yeah, he's attracting attention, John Duran, from the Saudi league, which obviously means a big money. But yeah, as far as incomings are going, Chelsea is definitely their one-stop shop. Sticking with Chelsea, they have held a long-standing interest in Matthijs Tel, I think that's how you pronounce it, from Bayern Munich. And the player has come out and his representatives are looking for a new club for him. So Chelsea definitely on the scene. They're not going to have as clear a run at the player though, because now that he's made that announcement and people know he is fully available and open to moving, Chelsea are going to face some competition. But we all know Chelsea absolutely need a striker. I know they've got Nicholas Jackson at the club, but I don't think he's a good enough or consistent enough finisher to keep the club headed in the direction they want to head in. He is still very young though. I do still like the player. And yeah, I think what's interesting here is I don't think Matthijs Tel is very much a step up from Nico Jackson. In my opinion, he hasn't played nearly as much football as him, as Jackson so far this season. So he'll need some warming up. But yeah, interesting. Chelsea clearly have been looking at this guy for a while now, so they've got a plan for him. And maybe the departure of João Felix opens opportunities in that department for them. They may consider selling João Felix for a better price just to get him off the wage books as well. So yeah, Matthijs Tel from Bayern Munich, young French striker. He can play striker, can play on the wing as well. So he's a utility player to an extent. But yeah, he is looking for a new club, and Chelsea want to be first in line. Brighton are reportedly open to letting Evan Ferguson leave the club on a permanent basis. There was a lot of talk at the beginning of the window that they were open to a loan without any options. They wanted to hold on to the player. But some reports today suggest that they are actually open to a permanent sale if the price is right. Now, Arsenal obviously looking for a striker. Arsenal also linked with him from last season already. But at that time, Brighton slapped £100 million transfer tag on him, which no one was going to go near. So we stayed away, and as football goes, since then, Evan Ferguson has been plagued with injuries. His development's completely stifled. So there's no way that Brighton can expect that type of money for him anymore, I'm sure. But honestly, he may not be the striker Arsenal need, but if the price is right, this is a project I'm very happy to support the club taking a gamble on. I think that he has the potential to turn out to be a better signing than Kai Havertz, and I will not accept any Kai Havertz slander. Havertz has been a very good signing for Arsenal as far as I'm concerned, but I think that Ferguson at 20 years old, if you can kind of work him through those injuries and stop them from happening as frequently, because he doesn't have to start every game with us. He hasn't been starting any games at Brighton for that matter, so he's definitely coming in a lot rawer than he was before, which was, I think, the one thing that always kept him out of Brighton starting 11. But yeah, I think he offers a lot, man. He's a big guy, so he offers a lot in the strength department. He's tall, so I think he could help elevate our set-piece game, which Arsenal have become very popular for this season. And yeah, like I said, he's 20 years old, so I'd be very fine with the club taking a gamble on it. If it's the right price, I would not go anywhere near a £60 million mark even. I'm thinking 50 mils the cap, just like how we paid for Ben White, you know what I mean? I think that's what Ferguson is worth right now. But again, if they do want to go anywhere close to like a £80 million fee or something, like Aston Villa reportedly won for John Duran, I say stay away. £80 million gets you Benjamin Sesko. £80 million gets you Victor Osimhen. Less than £80 million gets you Jonathan David from Lille. And there's just better value for money out there. So depending on the fee, I'm pretty much very, very keen on this transfer. And I think it has some legs as well, because Arsenal do definitely have a vested interest in him. Okay, but I'll leave it there for today's episode. Thank you guys for watching. As always, let me know your thoughts on the PGMOL situation, your predictions for tonight's games, what you think of the transfers. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll catch you in the next one.